Morning of day 4, and it got pretty chilly last night, so everything's all dewy, which means I'll have to pack it up wet, but it's supposed to be a sunny day, and I should be able to make camp by mid-afternoon, so I can dry everything out later. Beautiful mist on the water this morning too. On the portage here into Cairngorm Lake, and there are lots of big birches, and then there are some huge birches. This is probably the biggest birch I've ever seen that I can recall, at least, and it is very dead, and its limbs up there would be super heavy, so dangerous if you were camping around it, but not an issue to walk by. Finally at the end of this 800 meter portage, which was nothing like the Diablo, but still not the best. Slapped on the sandals for the end here so I could avoid completely saturating my shoes to help them dry out a lot faster this afternoon. Just got to get the last load here, and then I can get back to paddling, but that's a short one. And then 2 short portages, which will probably be pretty wet as well since they're around ponds. There is some moose and bear poop on this trail. That's pretty expected. Plus on the portages, I've always got my bear spray. I really don't think I'll have to use it. It's just peace of mind. I'm at the second pond, and in my guidebook I think it says on this part that the trail kind of ends 200 meters before the put in. And I see what he means now. It's just, it leads you to the marsh, and then you just kind of walk through it somehow, however you like. This is actually a really difficult section here. The bugs are terrible. All kinds of bugs here. There are lots of places to fall in up to your knee or deeper in mud. And because the canoe's so heavy right now, my draft is too deep and I can't get over any of that. So I had to drag through it. Hopefully the rest of it I can paddle. Finally done the portages, and Cairngorm Lake is right over there. I'm praying there's a good wind. I need to ditch these bugs. Things are looking up big time. Got a tailwind, it's keeping the bugs off. I got my snack out. This bag of crispers, which has been absolutely crushed. It's tiny now, but I haven't even opened it. And I'm about to start trolling again. Be trolling this big paddle tail with a 1-ounce sinker at the front of it. Cairngorm is 60 meters deep. So there are lake trout and there are pike. I'm going to try and get down deep and get a big one. Got a 12.5 pound pike on this last year, so it's worth a shot. Often you can't get away with putting the sinker right on the snap there. You have to run the 3-way swivel. But I don't really like the 3-way swivel when I've just got 2 rods here, because chances are I'm going to want to cast something with this rod before too long. So I don't like to get it all set up and then have to take it apart. The sinker works on this one, doesn't ruin the action. It will ruin the action obviously on a crank or a spoon, but it works here. No bites yet. There are a few greater joys for me than paddling with an incredible tailwind. This is awesome. I'm putting in the normal effort or less and getting probably triple the result. All the days, like days on coming in on Santoy with that nasty headwind. It's just so vindicating when nature cooperates, when weather cooperates. Nature needs our respect, but weather just demands our respect. This is awesome. 16 kilometers, mostly a north-south lake. Cairngorm, and I don't know how much I'm done, but at least half. On my map it says there was a forest fire here in 2002, and you can kind of see the effects up there. It's kind of regular, older forest. And then right around here, I'm guessing that's kind of where the bulk of the fire left off. There's a lot more new growth. And that should continue for quite a while up ahead. The main lake of Cairngorm was kind of featureless and dull, but now that I'm past the narrows, it's getting a lot more interesting. This little island was spared by the fire, which is pretty cool. Still got the coniferous spruce all over it. Everything else, all the new growth, is almost entirely deciduous. So I've arrived where I'm supposed to camp at the north end of Cairngorm Lake, and it's just a wasteland. I'm covered in black flies too, all over me. And there's really just no charm to it. I have no desire to stay here, but anything on this lake is going to be like this. And there are 3 portages between me and the next lake with campsites, which is Steel Lake, which also has a bunch of burn scarring. So I guess this is it. Well, I changed my mind. Couldn't bring myself to sleep there, so I paddled around to see what else I could find, and saw this little spruce-clad island, which seemed a lot more appealing. This one was also spared from the fire. And I pulled my tent and such out of my dry bag, my backpack, and forgot that everything was super dewy this morning, so it was all wet, which also got some other things damp. So I'm hoping that the sun comes out so I can dry that out, and so that I can take a bath, like a swim at least. And maybe launder my clothes too. They're filthy from that portage today with all the mud and sweat, dirt, and bugs being squashed into everything. Yeah, it's turned out to be a tougher day than I expected, but this will do here. This site, well, it's not a site, it's just a little spot that happened to be clear, luckily. And there's going to be a generous portion of Scotch whiskey in the glass tonight. And I'll probably head out tomorrow unless the fishing blows my mind or something. But yep, that's the situation. Well, I feel like a new man. Had a dip in the lake. Ate. Put on my dry clothes, which are still clean and smell like laundry. Got out of my disgusting clothes. I'm about to have some scotch, and I'm even going to allow myself to use some battery power on the cell phone to listen to some music for the first time in 4 days. And lastly, the campsite has the rare luxury of multiple Gandalf wizard staffs. And I'm just debating between the two. And I think I'll go with this one. Looks a little weak from that beaver chewing, but it's got character. Takes character to make it in the backcountry. You know? Make it through those tough times. Lift yourself up with a Gandalf wizard staff. I am starting to appreciate this place a little bit. I mean, the burned area. It's kind of otherworldly, or from another age or something. Prehistoric. Now that I have my own little piece of home at Spruce Island, everything feels a little better. I have to wonder what a fire like that does to the fish populations, because I haven't caught any. I haven't got a single bite. I haven't seen a minnow. Well, I was wrong. Fire didn't kill off all the fish, It's just a small pike. But at least, again, like yesterday, right at dusk, avoided the skunk. Come on. I'll show you. There, perfect. There you go. Thanks, buddy. It's amazing the fish that'll eat this paddle tail, which is a pretty good size. Often pretty small fish, dinks like that one.